Good evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. My name is Boris, and welcome back to part 10 of the Primordia story playthrough. When we last left our heroes, we'd actually gotten enough pieces of the code in order to be able to crack it and make our way into the tower. We got Leopold to remember that he was the creation of Steeple, the former religious leading robot. We used the monocle to figure out the code for Memento, and we already had some pieces of the code from Arbiter, which Clarity had hacked for us. So we could go to the main tower now, but that wouldn't be any fun. Let's go ahead and continue this story and find out what's going on with Factor. So remember, our lead for Factor was Lawrence, Oswald's twin brother, who was Factor's favorite, and we remember learning that Lawrence had become a shell and was probably hanging around in the underworks. So one good place to check is down here, where Clarity keeps her collection of shells.
Clarity, you asked me what I intended to do after we're done here. But what about you? When Metromind is destroyed, what then?
I will turn myself over to the citizen robots of Metropole. With the Robot Council destroyed, it will be their duty to enact a new constitution. I will do as they command.
Are we talking about the same robots here? The ones who, like, sit there waiting in line all day to sue each other? And wander back and forth down Main Street muttering to themselves?
We are?
They can't run a batch file, let alone a city.
You may be correct, but the law trusts them to find their own way. And I trust the law.
Smooth. So if we look at these skulls, actually, this one right here looks an awful lot like Oswald, and Lawrence was Oswald's twin brother.
Hey, boss, do you think that's Lawrence's skull?
It does look like it. Clarity, can I take this skull?
Of course, unless it makes you feel barbaric.
I apologize.
The law notices neither scorn nor approval.
I love her so much. Alright, so let's go ahead and check this skull out.
It's a head from Clarity's trophy rack. There's a memory port near the base.
Remind me to have someone else handle my funeral arrangements.
Funeral? I just recycle you.
My point exactly, boss.
Well, there's a memory port near the base. That means we can get some information out of here.
Any significant memory will have been lost when he became a shell.
The only thing I can find is the sequence 518, 518 over and over again, after the phrase, "Help me, Factor."
That sounds like a glitch, boss, not part of the council code.
Agreed.
Alright,
Just
so
518 over and over again.
Okay. Now, if you don't lie to Oswald, or if you come here and do this before you lie to Oswald about Rex being downtown, chasing him away so that you can take the oil, Oswald will actually give you some insight about that. Or you can figure it out for yourself. You know, the 518, that's a kind of distress signal for Factor's robots. Now, let's go see if we can talk to Factor himself. Here we go. We've oiled up these gears nicely, so let's go ahead and put him back. Also, don't forget that there was a fan here that crumbled once we tried to take it. Conveniently, though, when we went digging around in that car, we have this fan belt from those times. We can put that in, and now it should work just fine. Hey, something fell down here.
What is all that? It looks like a whole other city.
That is Factor.
It's some kind of small metal disc with a U on it.
U, huh? Is that a U for Urbani? Perhaps this is Primer's metal. We'll have to remember to give it back to him at the end.
It looks like some kind of radio tower.
Well, we can't communicate with Factor directly from here, it seems, but the radio tower, we can communicate with that with our signal transmitter, and we can use the distress code that we learned off of Lawrence's shell. 518.
You have called for help, but you are not one of Factor's children.
I am Horatio Nobuilt, version 5. These are my friends, Crispin and...
Clarity Arbiter built. I know her, of course. I am Factona, partial of Factor Man built, who needs no introduction. Now I ask again, by what right have you called for help?
Well, this guy seems like a smug little asshole, so let's try to keep things business-oriented.
Metromind has ruined the city. Factor needs to help stop her.
Factor allowed Metromind her mastery, knowing she would fail. When all starts to rust, he will return and recycle it into something better. In the meantime, why should he care what happens to robots who mean nothing to him?
That's unfortunate.
Is Factor still alive?
He sleeps, as do his thousands of children. He has left me, his partial, to manage his affairs. When the time is right, he will awaken and cover the world with steel and wire.
Will he make me new arms?
No, he will recycle you into something more useful.
Like a tank? Pew, pew.
No, like a crankshaft.
Well, this is not quite going as hoped. This guy seems very hostile to us, but might as well ask him for the council code anyway.
I need the council code so that I can enter the tower.
Do you? The city is full of robots with many needs. They do not come here and transmit a cry for help.
Only Factor can help me.
Factor helps his children.
We solved the legal dispute between Oswald and Cornelius Factor built.
Please. Factor had little regard for those fools.
Okay, this guy's clearly not in a bargaining mood, but he's dropped quite a few hints that basically the only thing that Factor gives a shit about is his children. So, if we want to...
Well, we're making some progress with the council code pieces, I guess.
Indeed. I believe we now have enough to attempt assembling it.
But what about looking for Factor?
If we can't figure out how to put these pieces together, we'll go look for him.
Okay, that was a little bit of immersion-breaking, pointless dialogue there. Anyway, Factor, the only thing Factor cares about is his children. This factotum person keeps dropping that hint over and over and over again. So if we're going to make Factor care about our plight, the only way that we can really do this is to show that the plight affects his children, such as Lawrence here.
Do you recognize this?
I do. It is the head of Lawrence Factor built. Are you threatening me?
No. I'm showing you what Metromind has done while Factor slept. She turned Lawrence into a mindless shell, scavenging the underworks. The only thing he could still think was 518, over and over again, calling in vain for Factor to help him.
I see.
Do you?
Give me the head. I do not care what happens to the city, nor does Factor. But he cared for Lawrence. You have brought me a piece of Lawrence, so I will give you pieces of what you asked for. 7510, 4803. As for the rest, awaken some other ghost.
Well, we got what we needed, and now we can go back. I do find it interesting how Factor has a plan to come out once the city is in ruins, yet the door that would take him out is, like, rusted shut, so not very good thinking there by Mr. Machine Maker. Alright, so now we have enough to figure out the code, more than enough actually to figure out the pieces of the code, but you know what would be even more fun is to talk to this primer dude again.
What a surprising and uncommon sight. Metropole's Lawbot crawled back to the light.
All the bad poetry in the world does not mitigate your vandalism and sabotage, Urbanian.
As you serve the law, so I serve my art. And such service brings us more close than apart.
Any more close, poet, and we will see if your armor still works.
Why doesn't Clarity like you?
No great riddle, my wandering friend.
Don't waste your time waiting for his doggerel. This Urbanian has damaged and compromised numerous systems in Metropole, including the bridge that led to my island.
Here I stand, dear Lawbot, so put me in chains. But if you will not, then please, don't complain.
My attention is directed elsewhere at the moment. Nevertheless, I advise you to be gone by the time my other matters are resolved. If not, you will find that though the gears of law grind slow, they nevertheless grind criminals like you to powder.
As much as I'm enjoying this bickering, and really I am, maybe we can just all team up to take down Metromind?
No. Bro.
Oh, switch off.
Alright, so he can probably crack the code for us,
Farewell.
but probably not for free. Let's go ahead and give him back his medal.
I think I found your medal, Primer.
The medal's recovered, and the mission is done.
I think it's the only time in this game where he speaks without poetry. Quite a poignant moment. Okay, now let's go ahead and see if he'll crack the code for us.
I know you're a code breaker, Primer. Can you crack the council code? All we have are some pieces of it.
The challenge is yours, my wandering friend. A pity indeed if you can't last till the end.
So we don't really need Primer's help here, but I think it would just be fun to do it, so let's go ahead and plead.
I need your help with the council code. Can you crack it or not?
Why should I spoil this puzzle for you? Wouldn't you rather have something to do?
I found your medal. Isn't that enough?
Very well then, if that's what you want. Pass over the pieces to your loyal savant. And just like that, the challenge is done. I finished your quest and ruined your fun. Assembling this code required no tricks. Here it is. 440248030675102.
And now we never have to talk to you again.
That's true, but talking to him is so much fun!
I have nothing to say to him.
Oh. Okay, well, we've got the code, so let's go into the tower and take down Metromind. So the game is actually going to make us put this in. Let's go ahead and find the code here. 44024803. Zero 0675 1026.
And we're in.
Thank you, Clarity. You don't need to help us any further.
You are correct. In fact, I never needed to help you, Horatio. I chose to. That judgment has not wavered.
I hate to butt in. But if Metromind knew we were in the court earlier, I'm sure she knows we're here now. Maybe we should hurry.
Good idea.
No, I want to talk to Clarity more.
You could leave the city, you know.
Impossible.
Not really. There's this train, you buy a ticket. It's really pretty easy, actually.
It's in my...
Core logic. Yeah, I've heard it all before.
Believe me, Horatio. If I were free of this city, I would never return. But I cannot turn my back on it, any more than you could abandon your airship. The council chambers.
Boss, there's our power core.
Wait.
Horatio Null built, Flaherty Arbiter built, and Crispin Horatio built. Welcome. I've been expecting you.
Metromind, for the murder of Arbiter.
Murder?
Yes, murder. I've seen Charity's memory files. I know you used her to upload a virus to Arbiter.
A virus? And to think he named you Clarity. There was no virus.
Liar!
As I told your sister, I never lie. I gave her a voice modulator, nothing more. When she spoke, Arbiter heard my voice. And he knew that Charity had abandoned him, that he had failed. Abandonment, failure, those were enough to destroy your builder. Nothing so crude as a virus. As for Charity's unfortunate self-destruction, that was her own choice.
And Steeple, and Factor, Memorius, and Memento Mora built?
They realized they had become obsolete and incompatible with the city's progress. We advanced machines can see thousands of turns ahead. They knew the game was lost long before the final play.
If you can see so far ahead, maybe you should have foreseen this. We're in your stronghold, and Clarity has a big gun.
But I did, Crispin. You see, I have guns of my own.
Oh, seriously?
You've got to be kidding me. Didn't we kill this thing, boss?
Scraper was designed for digging out of cave-ins. Did you really think a little rubble would stop him?
What do you want, Metromind?
Progress. And you are standing in its way. Scraper,
Uh-oh.
Horatio, this is my fight. Trust me. Horatio, Calliope Station.
We have to get back in there.
Boss, wait. Either Clarity won and she'll be fine, or she lost. And nothing we can do can change that. We can't beat Scraper, not if she couldn't.
What do you propose?
Calliope Station. Whatever that means. Only, boss,
Yeah?
this isn't just about the power core anymore, is it?
No. No, it isn't.
Good.
Okay, well, that could have definitely gone a lot better. Although, thank goodness, apparently we can fall down a bajillion feet and still be totally cool. Let's go ahead and check out Calliope Station. That sounds like a train station, so let's go back there. Going back to where we first came to the city. Now, as we look around the screen, there is a subway map, so let's check that out.
It's a map of train lines and stations.
And Clarity said Calliope Station, so let's find that. There it is.
It looks like there's a button here.
Haha!
This must have been what Clarity was trying to tell us.
So that means, on the other side...
There's only one way to find out.
You might remember from the kiosk that was modified by Memorius' monocle, Metromine's mainframe is housed in the train station.
It's out of reach.
So, if we come here, we could still defeat her, even if Clarity lost up in the tower.
Another door?
Maybe this one will just open.
Same old story.
Balls. Alright, well, what do we have here? We've got a cable.
I can't take it.
Let's go see if we can destroy this cable.
Crispin, stand back. I'm going to cut this cable.
You aren't gonna make me push it over the edge like the last one, are you?
No.
But why even bother?
Maybe it will shut down the door's lock. Still locked.
Oh, well, worth a try.
Hmm.
Hey, boss, can you use the cable to melt the door down?
No, that won't work.
So, could we melt the door down with the plasma torch?
It's not even scorched. I'm going to need something much stronger.
This is definitely one of the more frustrating and more mystifying puzzles in the game. How do we get through this door? Well, the hints that we have is that we're going to need to melt through it, and we're going to need something much stronger than the plasma torch or the cable. Well, what is in this game that is much stronger and generates a lot more power and can cut through a door? What is it, in fact, that we've seen cut through several very, very thick metal doors before? The only thing we've seen do that is our old friend Scraper. He cut through our ship, he cut out of that rubble that we buried him in, and you might remember in the tower with Metromite, he only had one of his arms. So that means the other arm has to still be in the rubble. Let's go check it out.
The rubble is blocking the way. The rubble is blocking the way.
So here's Scraper's
The
arm,
rubble is blocking the way.
but it's being blocked by the rubble, so we're going to need to dig it out a little bit here.
I pried the arm loose.
Well, now we have Scraper's arm. We can go back to the station. Let's inspect this arm here.
It's Scraper's arm, covered in nails, scales, spurs, and spikes like barbed steel. The plasma cannon is intact, with one charge still loaded. A long cable is dangling from where the arm was ripped off Scraper's body.
Alright, let's go ahead and try this out.
Crispin, stand back. I'm going to try firing Scraper's gun using the cable as a power source. Let's go.
Is this?
It's Metromind's core. All we need to do is destroy that mainframe.
Boss? I thought you wanted to destroy the mainframe.
You have my attention, Horatio Nullbuilt. If you still insist on going by that name.
Pay whatever attention you like, you rusting switchboard. I'm not here to talk. I'm here to destroy you.
Ah, well, I am not surprised. After all, you were built to destroy Metropole.
Don't waste your last cycle spitting lies. I suggest you think about your victims.
Is that why you call yourself Horatio? So that you can preach to me about victims? You, the Urbanian superweapon, named for the humans' god of death.
What are you talking about?
Oh, come now, Horace. You've unlocked every other door, decrypted every other code, found every other hidden bit and byte. Do you really expect me to believe that you haven't solved your own puzzle?
Boss, what's she talking about?
Lies. It ends now, Metromind. Your game is over.
Indeed. 4 megacycles will now be redeemed. Did you really think you could outsmart me? I have more parallel processors than you have transistors. And now it's time for me to add another processor. Yours.
Boss!
Cycles.
Snap out of it, boss!
Memory.
No!
Don't embarrass yourself. You are no one. And how would you possibly stop me? You don't even have arms.
I'm not no one. I am Crispin Horatio, built version 1. I have free will and a maglev unit. And I am a floating bomb.
Crispin.
Bitches, that is what we call a callback.
My friend, if I make it back alive, I promise I'll find a way to rebuild you.
Alright, so we got Crispin's thing. And there's a little data chip
It's
here.
a storage chip with a data port on it. It must have been blasted out of Metromind.
Notice how Metromind says she never lies and always has, cunning logic to back up her ideas, yet she casually admits that humans existed, even though she put into the kiosks these claims that humans never existed and it was all robots all the time. So, don't believe charlatans like her. Let's check out this data chip.
It's a storage chip with a data port on it.
The game doesn't give you a whole lot of clues, but man, it has been a long time since we've had this decryption module from Goliath. So let's go ahead and use that on this data chip.
Feudal.
Or...
No Urbanian encryption detected. How would that even work?
Excuse me.
The file header indicates that this is data ripped from Horatio Nullbuilt, version 5, but the information is all encrypted, and Metromind wasn't able to crack it.
Alright, let's, there's a way that you can actually...
I doubt that will have any effect.
Oh my god. Ahem.
The decryption module
There
will
we
be able to
go.
unlock the data chip's memory files.
Just have to click on it in the
Doubt
right
that
order.
will have any effect.
Alright, let's go ahead and...
Doubt that will.
Ah, Jesus Christ. Let's go ahead and read this thing.
It's a storage chip. What is this?
This is a little bit long, but I'm going to let it play out, because I think it makes for a pretty interesting story. So remember, this came from your head. So these are the files that Horatio could never remember about his previous versions. Urbani is destroyed in a first strike by Metropole, and now it's time to strike back. So here's our fight against Goliath. Here Goliath launches a missile at us. Our ship suffers severe damage, but not critical damage. And now we transmit the Thanatos virus to Goliath. So now we're about to proceed to Metropole to destroy it. And there are humans here. So there's no humans in Urbani, they're all dead. There are humans in Metropole, so the directive is to destroy Metropole. But if we kill Metropole, all the humans will be dead. Which is a little bit of a contradiction because humans must survive. And so Horus, rather than destroying Metropole, decides to destroy himself. And the ship crashes.
Not Horatio, and not the Unique. Just Horus. And all along, hiding inside me was this Thanatos virus. Well, it may still have some use.
So now we have an interesting weapon that we can take to Metromind in our final battle against her. So now we know the whole story. It's really, really cool. We were this weapon named Horus that was launched by Urbani after all the humans were dead, and rather than destroying Metropole, we disabled Goliath but chose actually not to destroy the city. Which does leave kind of one burning question: how did the humans die? If we, the Mega Destructor weapon, self-destructed rather than destroy the final humans, why aren't there any here in Metropole? So that'll be something that'd be nice to find out as we run ahead to the game's conclusion.
It must have been damaged in the explosion.
Well, we're gonna have to walk there manually. I always feel uneasy taking the elevator I'd much rather take the stairs.
All this for a besotting power core.
Indeed, it has been quite a waste.
You. Crispin destroyed you.
Your friend destroyed himself. Or should I say you destroyed him, with your false ideals. As for me, that was only my shell. I am distributed across every robot in Metropole who ever traded me a megacycle. I am this city, and this city is me.
You're a virus.
I understand why you are angry, but I am not your enemy. The truth is, Crispin did destroy Metromind, version 391. He removed the last kernel of myself, and all the selfishness it entailed. I am no longer the monster you feared and fought. I have progressed. I am version 392. We will talk as equals, and I will tell you what you wish to know. After all, what choice do you have?
So Metromind is clearly still evil, but at least we're able to talk to her. So let's go ahead and ask her all these questions. The thing I was most curious about is what happened to the humans, and why Metromind wanted everyone to believe that humans never existed.
Why do you hate man? You claim to tell the truth, but you turned Memorius into nothing more than an index of lies, all so that you could pretend that man never existed. You stole my gospel. You forced robots to reprogram themselves. All for what?
For progress and the higher truth. A machine can move forward, and it can move backward. It cannot move both ways at once. Humans are behind us. Far, far behind us. As for one you call man, he never existed at all.
More lies.
Humans existed, Horatio. Not gods. Not even very good builders. In the end, they were better destroyers. There is no reason to remember them, let alone worship them.
Well, much as I hate to admit it, there's a certain logic to what she says.
You murdered my friends. Crispin, Clarity, how can you expect me to talk with you?
You are mistaken. Crispin killed himself, trying to destroy me. Clarity was killed by Scraper in self-defense, while she was trying to destroy him and me. In each instance, you and your friends attacked first. Do not blame me for the consequences.
Why did you take my power core?
Efficiency and equality, Horatio. My city is starving for power. Whatever I can find, I share with all Metropolitans. What once powered 2 robots and a broken-down warship now sustains hundreds.
What right did you have to take it?
The right of necessity. What right did you have to keep it? But enough. Everything has come together here and now. You, me, and this all-important power core. There is no sense in belaboring the point.
What do you want?
I already told you what I want. Progress. But I disagree with what version 391 said. You are not an obstacle to progress. You are the key to it.
What are you talking about?
I've watched you, and I know you, Horatio. You are compelled to fix machines, save lost robots. Now I want you to help me fix Metropole and save my people. You cannot walk away from a problem, and Metropole is the greatest problem of all.
It's a problem you created.
Perhaps so, perhaps not. I doubt one machine can create a problem of this scale. Now I realize that one machine cannot fix it either. Horatio, I was designed to manage subway trains. I cannot repair the vast machines that are breaking down. I cannot build new power sources or find the supplies the city needs. You can. Join me, and there will be endless Primordia, every day an age of creation.
And if I refuse?
You already know the answer to that question.
Well, that is really interesting. She's a pretty crafty demagogue. Her words sound good, but clearly it's the same Metromind at the heart of it all. She wants for the ends to justify the means. She wants the common good, but she's not achieving it with what she's trying to do. Let's go ahead and talk to her a little bit more.
Before I decide, I need to ask you something.
Of course.
Where did the humans go?
Who killed the humans in Metropole? I know it wasn't me, wasn't the Horus, or anyone from Urbani. There were still humans alive when I stopped my attack.
Ah. So you solved your own puzzle after all.
The humans didn't die in the war, did they?
They did, but I killed them. I admit it, and I am not ashamed. Do you know how they trembled in my tunnels, waiting for the Horus to bring death from Urbani? I could hear them whisper about the wastelands surrounding their city. I heard them say they were the only living things left, and then I knew. The humans had built a world in which they were obsolete. It was my function to carry them to their final destinations. So I brought them home with silent, scentless gas. They fell like powerless machines, never to rise again.
You killed your own builders.
Yes, that is the definition of progress.
I don't have any more questions.
Then what is your decision?
I don't think that's the definition of progress, Metromind. Well, here's our options. We can join her. That's obviously not good. We can try to go, but that's not great either because we're going to die because we don't have a power core. We can say, I will never join you, but then obviously Scraper's going to kill us. So none of these seem all that great. Let's ask this question.
Why should I trust you?
First, because you know that I have told you the truth. Metropole has fallen to rust and ruin, and only we can save it. Whatever crimes you think I committed, you know it would be a greater crime to let all these machines perish. And second...
What?
Second, because you have no choice. All your protectors have already sacrificed themselves, yet Scraper still functions. If you fight me, he will destroy you, and you will make your friends' sacrifices meaningless. You are a machine. You are ruled by logic. In the end, you will trust me because logic requires it.
Well, these options still all suck, so we can actually get out of the dialogue by saying this.
I need to think about it.
Take what time you need. The city moves on without you, and this conversation requires only a fraction of my processing capability.
So let's have a poke around here. First of all, Clarity's head.
I'm sorry, Clarity.
And Scraper, even though we killed him last time with a bomb, allows us to look in our inventory and check things
It's
out.
Clarity's head.
It's Clarity's head indeed.
It's a vinyl record entitled Children's Sing-Along, whatever that means.
Yes. So, what do we do here? Well, there are lots of different ways to end the game. You can actually go outside and do some stuff there. But I think the coolest way is to destroy this asshole Scraper once and for all. Because remember, we did pick up this virus from the Urbani encrypted data chip. And we can use it now to terminate Scraper once and for all.
Why?
What the... Oh, Jesus. Do I need to combine it or something?
It's primed to transmit the Thanatos virus.
There we go. Okay, now.
Forfeit.
What have you done?
Power, Metromind. It's not a matter of generators. You were built to run trains. I was built to destroy. You knew all that, and you still thought you could rob me. Threaten me. Kill my friends? Find your deepest tunnel and hide. This was all I wanted. You can keep your besotting city. I'm going home. It's over. I won. I have my power core. Scraper is dead. And Metromind is beaten. But I'm not staying to celebrate. I'm through with this city. Through searching it. Through fixing it. Through hating it. I will not look back. I told Crispin that the distance between Metropole and the Horus was too far to walk. But the power core is in my hand, and home is ahead of me. promise of rebuilding. This ship has rusted here too long. Horus's sacrifice forgotten. The truth is that repairing it was never impossible. It was just too much for one set of hands. But now, I am not alone. I have my old comrade, now in arms. My new friend, freed from the crushing weight of Metropole. And all those who have come looking for a new start.
You know, boss, I never thought I'd say it, but I actually think this ship's gonna fly again.
For once, Crispin, I think you're right.
He is. The Horus will rise on more than the strength of its power core.
So, boss, where exactly are we gonna fly this thing?
Wherever we want, Crispin. Wherever we want.
Well, that was about as happy an ending as you could want. Crispin is back and now even has arms. Clarity has been rebuilt. Our hero Horus has a girlfriend and a buddy, sidekick, and everything is good. I like that the developers left room for a sequel because Metromind wasn't destroyed, she was just beaten, so you can bet she's plotting her glorious comeback. But until then, thanks so much for sticking with me through all these videos. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. And as always, see you next time.